So whether you call it a settlement or an outpost actually doesn't matter. They're all war crimes. Now, if you listen to the Israeli far right, the way they solve the apartheid problem is getting rid of the Palestinians, mass force expulsion. The Israeli government's formal recognition of Homesh as a settlement is part of its gradual cannibalization of the West Bank with the aim of precluding the emergence ever of a Palestinian state. We have to understand that Homesh is one of these outposts which settlers establish. They're not formally authorized under Israeli law, but they are tolerated nonetheless. And then periodically, the Israeli government recognizes one of these outposts as a settlement. None of this is legal. All of it violates Article 49 of the Fourth Geneva Convention, which prohibits an occupying power from transferring its population to occupied territory. So whether you call it a settlement or an outpost actually doesn't matter. They're all war crimes. The International Court of Justice has ordered Israel to end the occupation. The Geneva Conventions make clear that these are war crimes. And so none of this has any legality. This is part of Israel's effort to gradually take over the occupied West Bank and prevent a Palestinian state from ever emerging. If you go to the occupied West Bank and look at it, between the bypass roads, the outposts, the settlements, it's carved up into, at this point, I think over 160 little enclaves. And this is very deliberate on Israel's part. It's trying to prevent the emergence ever of a viable, contiguous Palestinian state. It leaves a bunch of Bantustans under Israel's system of apartheid. And of course, that's not what a state looks like. And sadly, the international community has tolerated this gradual destruction of the possibility of a Palestinian state. And it has continued to fund and arm the Israeli government as it commits these blatant war crimes. Israel's gradual settlement of the occupied West Bank has all happened with the tolerance and indeed often the support of the international community. This has been funded and armed. Now, if you listen to the Israeli far right, the way they solve the apartheid problem is getting rid of the Palestinians, mass force expulsion. And that was already proposed for Gaza. The international community basically said no to that idea died, but it remains a dream of the Israeli far right. So it's again, a massive crime against humanity that we have to be aware of. But I think that what the international community needs to do is to press upon the Israelis that if they want to continue destroying the possibility of a Palestinian state, then the only viable alternative is equal rights for everybody within that one-state reality. That's the only lawful choice. Either two states living in peace side by side, Palestine and Israel, or a one-state reality where everybody has equal rights in a democracy. That's the choice.